Hello, my internet peeps. How are you today? This is Scott Rideshare. Welcome to my channel. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, so recently, not that long ago, I did another video, and she wasn't the subject of the video, but I mentioned this lady who was being kicked out during a hurricane, and she was kind of a character. She was annoying me. She was a backseat driver, and she was kind of annoying me. Well, by me telling you the story about this lady, I was reminded of another lady, and she was a character. Now, she was probably my first kind of out there person that I picked up. I may have had previous ones, who were also characters. The thing is that I was so busy trying to figure out where the heck I was and where the heck I was going and what do I do next and all this good stuff that I didn't really pay too much attention to the people getting in and out of my car. It wasn't until a little bit later, once I started feeling more and more comfortable, I started feeling, more and more like, what is this person doing? That kind of thing. Okay. Now, every person that gets in the car, I greet them. I come from a retail background. I used to work for Blockbuster, and Blockbuster used to tell us, make sure you greet everybody when they walk through the door and stuff like that. So when people got in my car, I made sure I greeted them, gave them a smile, and all that good stuff. Okay. So I always did that, but I think I was too busy trying to figure out like where I'm going and what's going on and all that stuff to pay a whole lot of attention to idiosyncrasies until this lady. Now, I'm not saying I was driving for like 3 years and all of a sudden I noticed this idiosyncrasy. She was still very early in my driving. I'm not sure how long I had been at it at this point, a month and a half, a month, something like that. So anyway, let me see if I can remember everything about this, okay? I thought she was a rather funny lady. And it started where I get the call and I'm following the navigation system and I pull into the house, okay? So I have the house number on my navigation system saying I'm supposed to pick this person up, and I'm looking at the house number and lo and behold, they match, okay? And I went ahead and sent a text. Now, when I was first starting out, I didn't always text. A lot of times I just pulled up and kind of waited. And the reason for that is that the app said rider notified down at the bottom. Well, it turns out that one time I was outside of a bar and it was still like 7:30, something like that. So it's still pretty early. It wasn't like it was late. And I'm sitting there waiting, and I'm waiting, and the guy's not coming out. And finally, he does come out. And he was a bit intoxicated, and he said, I was telling him that, he goes, "Why didn't you let me know you were here?" And he wasn't angry. He was just kind of like head scratching kind of thing. "Why didn't you let me know you were here?" And I told him, well, one of the things that we get from Uber, like Uber doesn't do a lot of training, by the way. One of the things we get from Uber is that you don't want to annoy your passengers. So you don't want to sit there and like call them right away and say, "Hey, I'm here," and make it seem like, get your ass out here. But so I really didn't call anyone when I first started driving. I would just kind of sit there until this guy. Then I realized that, some people yes, some people no. So I ended up getting into the habit of, with Uber, when I pull up, to send a text saying I'm here. Now, another reason why I like Lyft better is you don't have to bother with all that. Once you pull up, you tap a button saying that you have arrived, and then you confirm your arrival, and they get a ping. And I'm telling you, the ping is like instantaneously, because it's happened where I pulled up and I see the person waiting. So I pull to where, they could safely get in the car, and I unlock the doors, and they're climbing in, and I hit confirm arrival on the phone, and I hear the ping. So it's like instantaneous. So that's one of the reasons, another one of the reasons why I like Lyft better. But with Uber, you can't really do that. So I kind of send a text. I let them know that I'm here. Not to rush them, just to let them be aware. Now, some people may take it. They look at the text and, where is this guy rushing me? I don't know. I just try to be as friendly as possible when they get in the car, and no one appears to be upset. So anyway, I pull into the driveway. I let the lady know I'm here, and I'm sitting there waiting, and I'm waiting, and a lot of times I'll just kind of keep an eye on my surroundings. This didn't appear to be a bad neighborhood where I had to worry about anything, but still, I was, just kind of looking around, making sure, neighbors aren't doing anything or coming towards me or anything. And I see this lady walking from across the street. And I roll down the window and I look out, and she goes, "Are you my Uber driver?" And I go, "Yeah." And she goes, "I'm over here." And she goes, walking back to the house. So I backed up, and it turns out that I'm going to make up numbers because I don't remember it. The house number I was supposed to, that the navigation said was 2016. She was in 2017, the one across the street. So I don't know how this happens, folks. Whenever I order a car, it's always done through Lyft, but I never have a problem that these other passengers seem to have. Sometimes they drop the pin. Sometimes, you get these 5 or 6 different numbers. I don't know. It's never, for me, it's never been a problem for the driver to come get me. He always finds me pretty easy. So I don't know what's going on. The address is always correct. I don't know what they're doing. In either case, I backed up and I pulled in front of the car. And she's got the door open, and she's kind of rumbling around in there, and I'm going, the heck's going on with this lady? And I see her coming out with some bags. And it's not like these were good pieces of luggage. The neighborhood we were in was in a good neighborhood. But these things were like just beat up, taped together. It's not the kind of luggage you'd expect from somebody who's getting out of this house. So anyway, I hop out of the car, I pop the trunk, and I start helping her load stuff in. And the whole time she comes out, she's blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, she's sitting there rambling on about, thank you for the luggage. I just got a few more pieces. And it's almost like when she's talking to me, she's talking as if I know what's going on inside the house, and I know what's going on with her life. No. I have no clue. I just showed up now to drive you from point A to point B. So again, I apologize. I'm trying to remember her exact words. It was a long time ago. There's been a lot of passengers in between, but it was along the lines of, I'm gonna go to Joey's, and stuff like that. Like, I'm supposed to know who Joey is, and I know why she's doing this. I have no idea, but that's the way she was talking to me. So anyway, I get back in the car and I wait, and she comes out with more luggage. And I help her out with the luggage, and then she gets in the car, and she goes, "Do you have a sun pass?" And I go, "Yeah." Now, I've been told, well, not told, but it was suggested to me that I get a sun pass in order to do the driving, and it was one of the things that I did. I was told that we would be reimbursed for tolls, and if it was a situation where we had a toll going one way and we had to take a toll coming back, that on the ride going there, the passenger would be charged a two-way toll. Now, not often do I need a toll to come back. In fact, I don't think it's ever been that way. But and I never really stopped to look to see if they're doing that or not. But in either case, I did. I bought a Sun Pass, and I keep it loaded every month. And I do that because I get paid for tolls. Anytime the navigation system tells me to get onto the toll system, I can see I get paid for tolls at the end of that. So I go, "Well, yeah." And she's like, "Oh, last driver, he wouldn't help me with my luggage. He was so fat." And I'm thinking to myself, "Oh, come on." And then she says, "And he didn't have a Sun Pass either." He told me he couldn't afford one. And I'm like, now I get her frustration because the guy probably just didn't want to, what he was supposed to do. He probably just wanted to go from point A to point B. He probably didn't want to help anybody with anything. So he didn't, he just drove up, picked the person up, dropped them off, didn't do any extra helping, which I kind of get. A lot of what I would learned from Uber when I was first learning out apparently was stuff that was with the Uber uh, luxury service. I believe they called it Uber Black when they first started out, and essentially it was people driving. It wouldn't be a limo, but it would be like a limo service. They would pay a lot extra money, and only certain cars can make it in there. My car ain't making it in there, but only certain cars would make it in there, and they would. That's where they got the whole notion spread into everyone's head about having water and snacks and open the car door and pull out an umbrella. The thing is that as they started lowering the the wages, they came up with what I drive, which is Uber X, and lower than that Uber Pool. They kept doing the same Uber Black training, so they want us to give the same level as somebody who's paying up here for somebody who's paying down here. It's an old adage, goes way back. Everybody wants to drive a luxury car, whatever your luxury car of choice is, whether it's a Lexus or BMW or Mercedes or whatever the higher end cars are. Everybody wants to drive that, but they want to pay for Corollas. And unfortunately, it's all that's on us drivers. And this guy may have been somebody who'd been around the block a few times. Like I said in a previous video, when I started, I had started just at the point where they lowered the rates. And maybe this guy was making money with his, in the old rates, and now he's got the new rates, and he's like, I ain't doing nothing for it. It's possible. I don't know. I'm kind of speculating here. But in the meantime, I got this lady in the car, and she puts down the wrong address, number one. Number two, she's got all this beat up on luggage, and she starts complaining about the other guy at the sun pass, blah, 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 blah. And I thought it was funny. And I wish I could remember more of the stories, more of the things that she was saying. But she was out there. It was like I was pretty much just going, yeah, okay, yeah, okay. And she gave me 5 stars. I know that because back in the day, I used to pay attention to who did what. And I didn't have 20, 30, 40 rides a day. I only had 5 or 6, and I would see who would do what. Anyway, I hope you liked this video. If you did, smash that like button down below. I'm trying to get more likes. I'm trying to get more subscribers, so share the video as well. And also, if you like the video, subscribe. I'm trying to get more subscribers. So there's also below this, I've got some links if you want to make some part-time money. Go ahead and check out the links down below. And I hope you have a great day. This is Scott Rideshare. Take care.